Hey everyone, and welcome. We're about to jump into the world of video games to try and answer a question that honestly gets right to the very heart of what it means to play. For me, this question is really personal. See, growing up, I played a ton of games. So did one of my best friends. I'll never forget a teacher asking my parents, how is he doing so well in school while his friend seems to be struggling? And I had no idea what to say back then. But now, after really digging into how games are actually made, I think I finally have an answer. And it all comes down to a huge shift in the art form itself. So, the first thing we have to get our heads around is that gaming isn't just one single thing. I mean, we don't just lump all movies together, do we? There's a world of difference between a timeless classic and some cheesy popcorn flick. Well, it's the exact same for games. Some are built to make you think, to make you better, and others, well, they're basically digital junk food. The trick is learning to spot the difference. Okay, so let's start with the good stuff. Let's look at what makes a really well-designed game such an incredible tool for learning. The classics I grew up with, they weren't just a way to kill time. They were these amazing, complex educational systems that were just disguised as fun. Take a game like SimCity 3000. This game literally puts you in the mayor's office, forcing you to manage this super delicate dance of running a city. It's a masterclass in systems thinking. I remember this one time my city was going broke and I thought, oh, easy fix. I'll just crank industrial taxes way up. Big mistake. Almost instantly, corporations packed up and left, unemployment shot through the roof, and boom, my city was a disaster. I learned a huge lesson that day. In any complex system, the simple, obvious solution can have these catastrophic, ripple effect consequences you never saw coming. Or how about another classic, Roller Coaster Tycoon? On the surface, it seems like you're just building the theme park rides. But really, under the hood, you're getting this incredibly intuitive lesson in physics. You have to figure out the balance between kinetic and potential energy just to make sure your coaster can even make it up the next hill. You learn real fast that taking a turn too quickly creates insane g-forces that make all your little parkgoers sick. You're not sitting there memorizing formulas from a textbook, you're feeling them through trial and, well, a lot of error. And it's not just for STEM fields either. A game like Uncharted Waters IV, that was my geography and history teacher. For real. What it does is help you build what's called a memory palace. It's this powerful technique for remembering things. To this day, I still remember that Bruges is a port in Northern Europe, and its main trade good is flax. Why? Because I sailed my own ship there. The game physically connects all these facts about locations, trade goods, and history to an interactive map you can explore, and that makes it stick in your brain for decades. So all those games were designed to empower you, the player. But somewhere along the way, things started to change. The entire goal of game design began to shift. And suddenly, play started to feel a lot less like a grand adventure and a lot more like a job. And this is the turning point. It's all about the money. The old model was so simple, right? You paid once for a complete game. The developer's job was to make it so amazing you'd come back and buy their next one. But this new free-to-play model, it has a totally different goal. It's not about giving you a fantastic, memorable experience that has a beginning and an end. Nope, it's about keeping you playing forever to maximize user retention and, of course, in-game spending. And that one little change changes everything. So the first design philosophy that really crawled out of this new business model is something we can call Taylorism. It's an idea borrowed from old-school factory management, and it's all about efficiency. But in gaming, what it really means is taking the pure joy of discovery and problem-solving and chopping it up into a boring checklist of simple, repetitive daily chores. Sure, it makes the game easy to get into, but it completely robs you of your freedom to choose. And you can see the difference so clearly right here. Look at classic SimCity on the left. It gave you data, it gave you graphs, and it trusted you to make your own calls. Now look at the modern mobile version. It's just a sea of checklists and those annoying little red dots telling you exactly where to tap next. You're not really the mayor anymore, are you? You're just an employee clocking in to follow a to-do list. Okay, so if Taylorism turns play into a job, this next design trend is, well, it's way more sinister. It actually uses the psychology of addiction to turn play into a form of gambling. This brings us to the Skinner box. It's named after these famous experiments where pigeons would just peck a button over and over and over for the chance to get a food pellet. And that word, chance, is everything. See, when a reward isn't guaranteed, when it's unpredictable, it becomes incredibly addictive. It's the exact same psychological hook that makes a slot machine work. You don't pull the lever because you know you're going to win. You pull it because you might win. And here is a wild modern example. This game, Young Lee Gay Young, became insanely popular. It looks like just a simple matching game, but it has a really dark secret. The game is designed to generate levels that are mathematically impossible to beat. That means winning has absolutely nothing to do with how good you are. It's just a lottery. You're not solving a puzzle. You're just pulling the lever on a slot machine, hoping the game decides to give you a winnable board. It's a Skinner box, perfectly disguised as a cute little game. So, okay, we're up against games designed to be boring, chores, or addictive slot machines. So how do we win? How do we, as players, actually take back control and make sure that we're the ones playing the game and not the other way around? The solution really has two parts, and it's all about changing your mindset. First step, choose like a curator. You need to actively seek out games that respect your intelligence and your time, just like you would hunt for a classic novel or a great film. Learn to tell the difference between a game that's a work of art and one that's just a disposable product. And second, and this is probably even more important, play with a purpose. Don't just blindly follow the game's checklist. You have to set your own goals, decide what you want to create or learn or achieve. And this right here is the biggest takeaway of all. Think about it. Even a truly brilliant game like Minecraft can be played in two totally different ways. If your goal is to design and build an incredible castle, you're an architect at play, being creative. But if you just log in with no goal and just mindlessly dig for diamonds for hours because the game prompts you to, you've just turned an amazing creative tool into your own personal Skinner box. The real power isn't just in the game's code, it's in your intention. The most important choice you can make isn't just what you play, it's how you choose to play it.